The Atlanta Braves are looking to maybe sweep the Cincinnati Reds in Great American Ballpark behind Spencer Strider. Here's your 10-minute scouting report for today's game. Yes, this is your Braves Today Scouting Report, a production of the Believe Podcast Network and presented to you by FanDuel. I'm Lindsey Crosby. In the next 10-ish minutes, we're breaking down everything you need to know before first pitch. Today, it's the Braves and the Reds in the series finale, so let's get into it. Both teams have put out their lineups for the game. For the Atlanta Braves, they're doing a lot of the same guys that we expected to see, and they are keeping Jorge Mateo in the lineup. So right fielder Ronald Acuña Jr. leads off, as always. Michael Harris II batting in the 2-hole, Matt Olson batting third, and Ozzie Albies cleaning up still. After that, Mauricio Dubon gets left field today after playing at third base yesterday. Austin Riley checks back in the lineup at third base. Jorge Mateo, who has been red hot and has gotten, I think it's now 3 or 4 consecutive starts, will be in the starting lineup, but he is getting a day at designated hitter, batting 7th. Ha-Seong Kim checks back in at shortstop, batting 8th. And Chadwick Tromp behind the plate, batting 9th. Honestly, I wouldn't have minded seeing Ozzie get a half day and put Ozzie at DH and let Mateo play some second. But I understand the idea of Walt Weiss of maybe let's just not disrupt the apple cart. We haven't given Ozzie that day off yet, so let's just continue not giving Ozzie that day off. On the mound for the Braves, Spencer Strider, 3-0 with a 3.46 ERA. And when you look at the ERA estimators, it's really interesting to see how Spencer Strider is valued differently by the different ERA estimators, right? His expected ERA is 2.73, so better than his current 3.46. His fielding independent pitching is a 5.33. And I think that's influenced by, 1, he doesn't get a lot of ground balls. 2, he has a higher walk rate. It's kind of the vestige of that start that he made versus the Rockies. And so because of that, he's not necessarily getting the credit maybe in fielding independent pitching. That's typically an area where he is better in FIP than he actually is with ERA because of outlier things that kind of happen to him. So find that interesting. The pitch usage has maintained the higher curveball percentage. We were wondering if that was just a Colorado adjustment. Does not appear that it is. He is 2 lefties. He is throwing 22% curveball and 21% slider. And those percentages have been pretty standard the last couple games. It's not just because he threw more of them in Colorado. That's just what he does now. He is just now mixing the curveball and the slider, and he's at 15% changeup. When you go over to the mix against righties, that's where you really see the old Spencer Strider. 56% four-seamer, 35% slider, right? Guys to watch out for on this roster here. Eugenio Suarez, 3 for 4, 2 RBIs off of Strider. What's kind of surprising, I didn't think about this until I looked at it today. Elly De La Cruz has never faced Spencer Strider. This is the first time that those two will ever face off in a regulation game. They may have met each other in spring training, or I don't remember I don't think they overlapped at the All-Star game. This will be the first time Elly De La Cruz and Spencer Strider face off. So that's just electric and tons of fun. You look at the Cincinnati lineup. A lot of the same guys we're used to seeing. Center fielder Blake Dunn. He's played some right. He's played some center. He can do both. Shortstop Elly De La Cruz bats second. Left fielder J.J. Bleday. Can't wait to get away from that guy. He's batting third. Sal Stewart is at third base in the cleanup spot. Eugenio Suarez is back in the lineup at designated hitter. Nathaniel Lowe batting 6th at first base. I never remember if he's Lowe or Lau. I apologize, Nate's mom, for getting that wrong. If I did. Spencer Steer batting 7th at second base. Will Benson in right field today. And then P.J. Higgins behind the plate, giving Tyler Stevenson a rest day. Not the best defensive lineup. Ellie's really good. Dunn is better as a corner outfielder than a center fielder. Sal Stewart is better defensively as a first baseman than a third baseman. So not the best defensive lineup. Oh, sorry. Spencer Steer at second is okay, but he's not great. So outside of Ellie, not fantastic infield defense. Let's see if that comes back to bite the Reds. And starter Nick Lodolo, lefty, 1-1 with a 5.57 ERA. He has not been good. 5.57 ERA, 6.35 expected ERA, 6.44 field and independent pitching. He's not been good in virtually any regard. He's one of the worst hitters in baseball at allowing barrels. His barrel rate is over 15%. And in this ballpark, that is a recipe for disaster. And it's funny. He's above average at getting ground balls, 45% ground ball rate, and he's below average at allowing hard hit balls. It's just one of those things where, like, if he gives up a fly ball, it is virtually guaranteed to be a barrel. So the home runs should be able to come today off of Nick Lodolo. It's a very kind of basic 4-pitch mix. Curveball, changeup, four-seamer, sinker. He's throwing mid-90s, 94.3 is the four-seamer average, 94.2 is the sinker average. But it's just those 4 pitches. 1 breaking ball, 1 off-speed, 2 fastballs. You either hit it or you don't. Something that I am thinking about today, this Braves roster, and this is all a small sample size, this Braves roster hasn't, there's some guys who have struggled against curveballs. Austin Riley is -2 run value, -2.8 run value per 100 pitches on curveballs. Michael Harris, -4.2 on curveballs. Jorge Mateo, -3.1 on curveballs. And some guys have been really good. Ronald's crushed curveballs. Mauricio Dubon's crushed curveballs. But some of the other guys who have been good, Mike Yastrzemski, Dominic Smith, Drake Baldwin, none of them are in today's lineup. Now, because these sample sizes are so small, my question is, are they not good, or are they struggling against curveballs in general this year? Or have they just faced some really good curveballs, like Ben Brown of the Cubs, who had a really good curveball and carved Atlanta up? I think we'll find out more today, just to see, are they struggling against curveballs in general, or are they struggling against that guy's curveball, where the majority of what they saw was the Ben Brown curveball? How Lodolo likes to attack hitters. It's a really kind of standard pitching plan. He goes 4-seamers early to lefties. He ramps up sinker and changeup use when he's behind, and he ramps up curveball use when he's ahead and with 2 strikes. Exactly how you expect him to use this limited 4-pitch arsenal. Not doing anything surprising there. When you look at it versus righties, again, very similar situation here. He leads with the changeup, which a lot of lefties versus righties, you'll see them throw a lot of changeups. That's not that surprising. He ramps up the sinker and changeup when he's behind. Okay. He ramps up 4-seamers and curveballs when he's ahead and with 2 strikes. That's all pretty standard. That's all pretty expected. And so he's not doing anything that unusual. He doesn't have a lot of different tools at his disposal. You just got to hit what he throws. And so, interesting, I think that this is a good opportunity for the Braves. A starter who has struggled. He struggled to not allow barrels. He struggled to miss bats. This is a good opportunity for the Braves, if they have it in them, to maybe, and I hope I'm not jinxing this, to maybe get right today. Lodolo does not have a strong proclivity towards a first pitch ball or a first pitch strike. He is better at throwing strikes on the first pitch, but it's not a massive difference. So this is absolutely something where you can totally get, like, you just have to be ready. But again, it's only 4 pitches. There's not a lot of variation here and what Nick Lodolo does. So kind of fun to watch that. When you look at the bullpen status for the Braves, I sure am glad tomorrow's an off day. A lot of guys have been used a lot recently. Ronaldo Lopez, Dylan Dodd, both of them haven't pitched since Thursday. I would imagine they will be some of the first out of the bullpen gate today, provided the score allows it. Raisel Iglesias pitched yesterday. First time he had pitched since Tuesday, only threw 15 pitches. He absolutely can come back today. Tyler Kinley is probably the only one I outright expect to be down because it's only 29 pitches, but he's thrown in 3 straight days. I was kind of surprised they went to him yesterday after pitching him back-to-back, but he was only at 23 pitches, so I get it. Now he's at 29, 3 straight days. He should be down. And if you go off of the Tyler Kinley, he threw 23 pitches, we bring him back for a 3rd straight day thing, then I would imagine that you're probably in a situation where Robert Suarez has thrown back-to-back days, but it was only 21 pitches, so maybe they feel okay bringing him back today. You may see Robert Suarez. He may not be down. Dylan Lee coming off a back-to-back, but at 35 pitches, I don't imagine they want to bring Dylan Lee back given that pitch count. So we'll see what happens there. Didier Fuentes is the big wild card for me. 28 pitches on Friday. I don't know if they think he's ready to come back or if possible they want to give him another day off today plus the off day on Monday and him just be good to go for whatever we need on Tuesday. Also, I forgot about this. Anthony Molina, he was called up. He's a long man. He's not thrown. He's also available too. You've got all the pieces you need. It's kind of what I'm trying to get at here for the Braves. For the Reds, they're surprisingly good here. Sam Moll is a lefty in their pen, hasn't thrown since Tuesday. You're likely to see him. The Fangraphs depth chart says that they have 3, they kind of call them all co-closers, right? They don't actually go and have any sort of, they don't have like a defined role where this guy's the closer, this guy's the setup man, whatever. They just say that Tony Santillan, TJ Antone, and lefty Brock Burke are all 3 closers. They all threw yesterday, but none of them threw more than 20 pitches. I imagine they can all come back today if Tito Francona wants to use them. And honestly, unless somebody got hot and then never entered the game, I don't see where anybody really should be down today. The Reds should have everybody available, again, including a couple lefties. They should be good. We are already way over the 10 minutes, but it's okay. Final thoughts here for me. One, what kind of MVP caliber heroics are we going to get from Ronald Acuña Jr. today? Really kind of curious to see what he's able to do. After the 2 home runs and 2 stolen bases yesterday, we saw the stat come out from OptaStats. Ronald's the only player in MLB's modern era, so since 1900, to have 4 homers, 4 stolen bases, and 4 walks in a 3-game span. Kind of curious to see what he does today. Maybe he hits for the cycle. Who knows? Maybe he hits a grand slam. I'm really curious to see what Ronald does today. Spencer Strider has not been great at getting ground balls. 33.9% ground ball rate on the year. And that's not overly influenced by Colorado. When you take Colorado out of it, his ground ball rate's at 34%. He has a fly ball rate over 50%. If he has a bad start, it feels like this could be the place because it's so easy for fly balls to go out the ballpark. So I'm a little bit nervous, but he has been throwing more curveballs. He has been throwing more changeups. And when you execute them right, those pitches have a good way of helping you get ground balls. So hopefully he can avoid a giant blow up. Braves Today sponsor FanDuel has this. Braves are favored to win this. Over-unders 8.5 runs. To me, it just comes down to Spencer Strider. If he can keep the ball in the yard, I feel like Atlanta has a pretty good chance of winning. If he doesn't, and you want to pull him early, you have the pieces where you can do that. And so my question would be, if you get in a hole because Strider gives up some homers, can you come back against Cincinnati, either their starter Nick Lodolo or the bullpen? I think you can. So I feel good about this one. Hopefully I'm not jinxing this. And I would love if Strider would just go 6 or 7, punch out 10, maybe give up, 1 solo shot on 3 hits and just make this one academic in nature. That's your Braves Today scouting report. If you want the deeper analysis, the lineup breakdowns, everything behind the numbers, make sure you're subscribed to Braves Today. Enjoy the game. There is no postcast today. Both Jake and I are unavailable. There will not be a postcast over on Locked On Sports Atlanta, but I will do my best to get out today's 3 things over at bravestoday.com.